An Associated Press investigation found that many stolen U.S. military firearms are resurfacing on our streets. The investigation also found that at least 1,900 military weapons have been lost or stolen between 2010 and 2019. However, that number is actually thought to be much higher. Associated Press reporter Kristin Hall co-authored that report, and she joins me now from Nashville, Tennessee. Kristin, I think this is shocking to people. So from the very beginning, tell us which types of firearms are being stolen from the military, and are other items also being stolen?
Well, our investigation found that a lot of the lost weapons are rifles and handguns. These are the workhorse weapons in the military's arsenal, but we also found incidents involving machine guns and grenade launchers.
Well, I mean, again, it just sounds insane that grenade launchers are being stolen from the U.S. military and winding up on our streets. Do we know how this is happening? How have people been able to steal military weapons undetected? And especially given the tremendous number of them, how are these weapons being obtained?
Well, we went through a lot of reports of criminal investigation reports that are done internally by the military. And what we found that is that weapons are especially vulnerable to corrupt insiders, people who are responsible for securing these weapons, people who know how to exploit the weak points in the military's enormous supply chains. But often, too, weapons disappear without a paper trail. Military investigators have to close cases without finding the firearms or the person responsible because shoddy records kind of lead to dead ends.
So walk us through what your investigation found. You're saying that there are people who are insiders who are exploiting these weaknesses. At what level are they taking these weapons, and how then do they end up on our streets?
Well, for instance, an example in California, military police officers stole 26 AK-74 assault rifles from Fort Irwin a decade ago. Some of those were sold to a Fresno street gang. And authorities in California are still picking up some of these weapons.
And so, Kristin, I think that, again, this just seems so mind-boggling. How aware is the military of these stolen weapons, and what are they doing to try and prevent further theft of these?
Well, the military says that they take these losses and these incidents very seriously. They believe that the number of weapons lost is a very small percentage of their total number of weapons. But, you know, they do acknowledge that also weapons accountability is a part of military routine. It's drilled into soldiers and troops as soon as they enter the service. And so it didn't sound necessarily like anything other, like additional measures are being taken. Correct me if that's wrong. I guess I'm sort of wondering, Kristin, when you had this investigation, was it shocking to see how 1,900 weapons over the course of 9 years were not only missing, but some of them actively stolen by military members who then sold them to street gangs, and then it was used in violent crimes. Beyond just the idea that as part of the honor code, it is being instilled in people in all ranks that they need to not steal and commit these sorts of actions. But what more can be done to actually hold the military more accountable in tracking these missing weapons, and what response have you received from the military at the conclusion of your investigation? Well, I can say that when we published our story on Tuesday, the Senate Arms
Armed Service Committee did have a hearing. They talked to the Army Secretary, and she indicated that she would be open to new oversight on weapons accountability in light of the information that we have in our report. The Pentagon used to share annual updates about stolen weapons with Congress. That requirement to do so ended years ago. So there does seem to be some indication that Congress is looking at this issue.
All right. Very enlightening and shocking investigative reporting. Kristin Hall, thank you.
Thank you so much.